くぞジェノサイカッタ
Hello everyone, what's happening? This is Rugal, and today we're going to go over this Korean live stream, and there was quite a bit that they threw out at us in this Halloween update. It's actually really cool, some of the news that we got. We got 2 new fighters, we got new card sets, we have the new guild raid, so let's go over all of this. So this here is Halloween Alice right here, looking pretty spiffy, and this is Halloween Chris. Very, very interesting. Now, Halloween Chris here, he is a purple balanced fighter, cost 63, so he's a fest character. His leadership, purple fighters attack power increased by 45% and energy gained by 20%, which is PG gain, so he's got a great leadership for purple fighters. And then his core effects, when the critical hit hits, the remaining dark damage of the target is increased, so he does darkened by 2.3 times. So he has dark damage explosion is removed. Cooling time 10 seconds. When attacked by an enemy in the dark state, the damage will be negated for 4 seconds. So what that means is negated means that he'll be immune for 4 seconds. And then you can look at his skills here. The first skill, his attack power is increased by 29% for 7 seconds. When the active skill hits, it will cause 33% darkness, which is the blacken, damage to enemy attack power per second for 7 seconds. And then on his second skill, when using the skill, it triggers the Overlord body, which lasts for 3 seconds, and damage is reduced by 75% for 3 seconds. Overlord is super armor, which is really awesome, because he's going to get that damage reduced whenever he uses the super armor skill. So anytime you use that skill, you're not going to take near as much damage, which is really great. Plus your skill won't get interrupted. And then on his third skill, attack hits, including defensive state, which is when guarding, the enemy will be petrified for 2 seconds. So on his third skill, whenever he hits you, he's going to petrify you no matter what for 2 seconds. The only way to avoid this thing is to roll. And then Alice here, she is a green defensive type. She is cost 63, so she's also a fest character. And then her core effects, when an attack hits an enemy in a poison state, an additional 250% damage is added, which is a ton of freaking damage whenever they're being poisoned, only on a 5-second cooldown. When an enemy is poisoned state is attacked, the defense power is increased by 30% for 7 seconds, and cooldown time is 12 seconds. And since she's a defensive character, her stats are going to go up by 30%. Whenever they're being poisoned, it's going to increase her survivability, which is great. And then this is a really interesting one. This is a new effect in the game as far as I know. When evasion, when you're rolling, is used, the cooldown of skill 3 will be reset and the attack speed will be increased by 10% for 5 seconds on a 15-second cooldown. So whenever you do a roll after you do your third skill, it will reset, which is interesting. And then when you take a look at her skills, first, second, and third skill here, her first skill, attack hits, including state of defense, which is when you're guarding, inflicts second attack by 35% poison damage for 7 seconds. So even when you're guarding, she's going to deal poison damage to you. And this is where it gets really interesting. When shooting skill, 70% chance to ignore the enemy's state of defense, which means 70% chance to ignore their guard. So she can ignore their guard, she'll do poison damage to him. The only way to avoid this thing is to roll away from it. Even when under attack can also be used. So it's an interrupt skill on top of that. So as long as she's standing, she'll be able to use a skill no matter what while they're doing their skills. And then her second skill is very interesting to me. She has hyper armor, which is great. Super armor and damage immunity. But then she reduces the damage taken by 75% for 3 seconds. Very interesting that she has hyper armor, which prevents her from taking any damage for that 3-second duration, but then it reduces damage taken by 75%. So I'm not really sure how this mechanic's going to work in the game. Like if someone's doing an ultimate skill and they break your hyper armor, usually what that does is it takes away your hyper armor. It takes away your super armor and your immunity from your hyper armor. But I wonder if this damage reduced will be in effect during that 3 seconds. If it is, that'll actually be really good, because even though she'll be taking damage, to take 75% less damage when you use the skill before someone does their ultimate skill would add a new mechanic in the game, and I think that would be pretty freaking cool. The third skill, when an attack hits, it will cause a vicious poison effect on the target for 6 seconds, which means poison damage, 35% poison damage per second, and 80% reduction in energy gain, which means she has 80% reduction in PG against her opponents. And then 46% converted to attack for 7 seconds. So 46% of her defenses is converted to attack, which is great. It's going to give her a lot of extra damage, a lot of extra power. Very, very interesting. So let's watch a little bit of these guys. Let's see. Let's check out Chris first. So Chris looks pretty damn cool. I really like how this looks. I like the horns and the little purple monster, ghost glob, or whatever you want to call it. That is a really dope looking thing. Very nice. I like he's got the tail. I mean, he's definitely the devil child. Very, very cool. Now we're going to kind of move along a little bit. We've already went over these cores. I'm just going to kind of skip along a little bit here. Now that's his first skill, and that's a skill that has an attack buff for 29% for 7 seconds. And it also applies the darkness. Pretty cool looking skill. I love the wings, man. Chris looks pretty dope. He looks pretty dope. There's the second skill that gives him that super armor and the damage reduction by 75% for 3 seconds. He just kind of runs through them. So we'll see how that plays out. It doesn't knock him around or anything, so I don't know. We'll see how that plays. And then this is the skill that will petrify you no matter what, even if you're guarding. So the only way to avoid it is dodge, but it is kind of a slow attack. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, it's really hard to know just by watching these skill previews. All right, let's take a look at this special. It's not bad. I like the little purple, after effects whenever he's dashing around. Okay, cool. Cool. Nice, nice. Very nice. One thing that's really cool about these, about the Koreans, is they show off these specials like crazy. Very nice. Very cool. There's the 5PG. Fairly decent long animations, not too shabby. Okay, so Alice here. We'll take a look at her first skill here. And that skill is going to be devastating because it can still hit you when you're guarding. It can still has a 70% chance to ignore your guard. And it inflicts poison damage on top of that. Plus, it's an interrupt skill, which is crazy. And then the second skill has the hyper armor, which is the one you're watching right now. And also decreases damage received by 75%. And then the third skill looks like it has a nice range attack that decreases power charge rate by 80%, which is crazy. Increase attack by 46% for defense for 7 seconds. So Alice is looking pretty dope, you know. The crossbow is a little weird, but it's fine, you know, it doesn't bother me. I mean, she's still got her little dancing mannerisms, you know, she's standing there in front of her opponent. So now we're looking at this special. All right, cool. Ah, lifts up the hat, puts the mask over her face. All right, typical Alice, a good old close-up. Not bad at all. Very cool. And you can see that damn skill. Look at it. It looks like it's a range attack. I mean, we'll see how many character distances you got to be away for it to be effective. Like, you know, if you can do 4 or 5 character distances, if you can, that'll make her even that much better. I don't know if it's going to... It looks like it might be a fairly long-range attack. We'll see. So that's Alice and Chris. Both of them looking pretty freaking amazing, pretty awesome. You know, we never know how good characters are until they come into the game. But I'm really, really excited for them. They're definitely going to be useful for these immortal dungeons that we have. They're probably going to be... Chris especially is going to be useful for what we're about to talk about here in a second. So if we scroll down here a little bit, now we have the guild raid, and this is where old Chris definitely is going to come in handy. So you can use 3 fighters and 3 fighters to challenge the boss. The guild crusade or guild raid is divided into 4 difficulty levels: easy, normal, difficult, and expert. And the difficulty level must be cleared before the next difficulty level can be opened. Level information. Then they got 2 different levels here. Now this is pretty funny to me because the abnormal damage needed, they show burn, and then they show dark here, which is blackened. But it's funny, they got Lady Geese here who's blackened, but yet there's burn. And then they got the K and Nameless here, which is burn, and they're showing blackened. So a little bit of a mismatch there. And each time you enter a level, you'll need to consume a key as shown below. So you're going to need these keys to enter the level. And then the advantages and disadvantages, hiding mechanism information. The advantage: before disarming the armor, when the boss is damaged by burn or dark, the armor value will be reduced more. Abnormal damage will vary according to the difficulty. After disarming, the boss will enter the state of stun, and the damage received will increase for 10 seconds. So whenever you're applying burn and dark or blacken to the boss, the more you apply, evidently, then you're going to put Rugal in the state of a stun. So it's going to be similar to the one immortal boss, I can't remember which one, that gets stunned and you just beat the hell out of him. So this is going to be the same thing where you're going to stun Rugal and just start inflicting your will on him. And the downside: boss will increase attack power every time. That's not good. This boss will move around. The boss will randomly change the color as shown in the figure below. It is assumed that the color effect of the boss is a fighter with the same color attribute of the boss itself. The damage caused will increase or decrease. So I'm not really sure if they mean that we need to be using the same color, or if you want to use the type advantage. I would think you'd use the type advantage. That would make more sense to me. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, that's really what would make sense to me. It is not sure whether the increase or decrease of damage is due to the boss fighting home or fighter versus boss. The boss will use his skill every time it passes to make the fighter stun. So he can stun you, which is not good at all. You can see here, Nameless is getting stunned. Oh, man. So we're going to have to be real careful of this attack. You see Rugal, he punches down to the ground, and he can stun you. So that is something to be aware of. And then you see here, we're also getting stunned by a little bit different attack. Rugal looks pretty cool. Very, very wild. So let's watch this thing. Man, Rugal's a freaking monstrosity now. Look at him. Alright. Oof. Nice. This might be pretty fun. You know, hopefully this is going to be a lot better than the other dungeons and the other things we've had to face, like the spider robot. We'll see. We'll see. And, you know, we'll see how hard it's going to be. I like that they got different difficulty levels. That's really good. I would imagine that the rewards are going to get better as you increase your difficulty levels. And evidently, Rugal, he's going to enter a phase like Yashiro and EpiQuest, where he's going to be pretty much invincible. You can't guard break him or interrupt his skills, and he's just going to attack the living hell out of you. So you're going to have to get behind him and attack from behind, or have hyper armor up so you don't take any damage. Ooh. Okay. I don't think Brian's really the character you'd want to use here, but okay. A Lady Geese would be. And you see there's no color as far as Rugal. It just shows gray defense. And this is pretty cool. We know that grabs will work in this, so this makes this better already in my opinion, because we can use characters that do grabs and they can grab a hold of Rugal and throw him around, which is great. Which is great. You know, characters like Undertaker, John Cena, those characters that can't really be used in these game modes usually, they can be used here, which is nice, because they do have 3 PGs. I don't know how good they're going to be, but it's just nice to know that they can be used for this.
제가 봤을 때는 루갈도 그렇고 아마 다른 난이도로 가면 또 다른 보스가
Come on,
있겠지만
come on.
그 보스마다 약점 속성이 있어요.
It looks pretty fun. I'm down for this. I'm down for it. I am down.
약한지 이런 것도 여러분 빨리 판단해가지고 최고의 덱을 짜는 게.
I think it's funny how they don't even have Lady Geese leveled up. I don't know if any of you noticed, but she's only got 2 of her skills.
빌드분들은 아마 바로 나오지 않아요.
Ooh.
무릎 뜨지는 약간 감이 온 것 같아요.
See, that didn't even interrupt Rugal at all. He just fought right through it.
이게 혼자 잡아.
So we're gonna have to be real careful fighting this boss.
혼자 잡으면 왜 빌드 콘텐츠잖아. 그래도 1.5% 정도. 네, 우리 티카님이 일단은 데미지를 뺐고 끝나면 이렇게 데미지가.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. So here's another round they're gonna be doing here. They're using Orochi, Nameless, and K. It's pretty funny how Rugal like towers over Orochi. Ooh, oh, yo, genocide cutter.
여러분들이 네큐에 대한 애정을 담아서 배를 꺼내주세요.
K 해야겠네. K가 지금
Hmm.
짱이라서. 그리고 K는
We got a time limit we're gonna have to deal with as well, which is always fun. Hmm. K's gonna be really good for this event, big time. His burn's insane. Kami, he'll be another one that's gonna be really good for this. Nameless, of course. And we're gonna get more of these bosses, you know. I mean, I imagine they're gonna use other dot effects that are gonna be effective, like bleed, chill, shock. Oh, and there's the stun. There's the stun. And that's where you can start dealing tons of damage. Have your awakened skill and just start doing tons of damage. Very nice. Knee is tearing it up.
역시 네임리스. 얘는 왜 이렇게 사귈까요, 진짜?
I mean, look at Rugal. He's not even phased. I mean, he's taking damage, but he's just entered that berserk stage where he can't be interrupted. Look at this. Watch him. Look at him. He's just going to go right into it. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Actually, Orochi has burn as well on that first skill.
와, 보석 세다. 진짜 어렵네요.
Look at Rugal's Kaiser Wave. Come on. He just isn't even phased. Woof. Bad thing about K is he has no immunity. This is a level 20. He's taking a lot of damage. There he's dead. Orochi's a level 30. Nameless was level 20. Good job, Nee. Good job. So pretty cool, man. You know, we got the 2 new characters, we got the guild raid, but we got one more thing. And that is these cards. So we got this new Alice set, and we got these new Leah Fest set. Now this set here intrigues me quite a bit. This set here, I don't know about. They're always sus, you know, we'll see. But this set, this set is, we'll see, guys. We'll see how bonkers this is. But let's check this out. So the Leah set, which is the one we just looked at, the attack power is increased by 13% when the active skill hits. There is a 30% chance to reset the cooldown of the active skills. So this card set can actually reset your skills. So say you use your skills and that 30% chance engages, you're going to have your skills available again. Characters that have hyper armor, super armor, the interrupt skills, it can make them more deadly. I mean, still a chance. It's a 30% chance. But I don't know how OP or how good this is going to be, but it could be a saving grace for some characters for sure. We will see. I mean, 30% chance, I just don't know if it's enough of a chance to where you would prefer to use this in certain game modes rather than maybe other card sets. And that's something that's just going to have to be tested over time. And then for PvP, when taking the damage, it will bounce back, which is damage reflect, 10% of the damage for 5 seconds. So damage reflect, the cooldown, it could be a very OP set. I mean, I just don't know, you know. We will see. So, you know, that 30% chance could activate, it couldn't activate. But the thing is, there's no cooldown on this thing. So it can activate at any time. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. I do love the artwork on the cards, both of them. But we will see. I have no idea what's on this other card set. Nothing in here is letting me know. So all in all, this update looks pretty damn sweet. 2 new characters, 2 new card sets, the guild raid. It all looks very, very exciting. There's nothing about the cards. There will be a global live stream for me at 6 o'clock a.m. in the morning. Actually, it'll be October 28th for me, but for a lot of you, it's going to be October 27th, 4 p.m. PDT time. And that's a global live stream. And I do plan on live streaming that live stream. And again, it will be at 6 a.m. October 28th, GMT plus 7 time for me. I will put up a post about it to let you all know when it's coming. But the actual time of the stream will be 4 p.m. on October 27th, PDT time. I'm 12 hours ahead of them. That's why it's 6 a.m. in the morning on October 28th for me. So let me know how you're all feeling about the Korean live stream. Let me know what you think about these new cards, the new characters, the guild raid. Are you excited for it? Do you think it was enough? I personally am very happy with what I've seen. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.